Detailed overview of the Choose, the Invincible Power of Choice. In the chapter titled, Choose, the Invincible Power of Choice, in the book, Essentialism, The Disciplined Pursuit of Less, by Greg McKeown, the author explores the significance of choice and decision-making in adopting an essentialist mindset. Here is a detailed overview of the chapter. McKeown begins by highlighting the power of choice and its role in shaping our lives. He emphasizes that we have the freedom to choose how we spend our time, energy, and resources. However, he notes that many people fall into the trap of non-essentialism, where they make choices reactively, driven by external pressures or the fear of missing out. The chapter introduces the concept of opting out, and explains that essentialism is about consciously opting out of activities, commitments, and projects that do not align with our values, goals, or priorities. McKeown argues that by recognizing the power of choice, we can become more intentional in our decision-making and select activities that have the highest impact and meaning. To make more effective choices, McKeown suggests creating a framework for decision-making. He introduces the essential intent framework, which involves asking three key questions: what do I want to go big on? What are the trade-offs I'm willing to make? And how can I make execution effortless? By answering these questions, individuals can clarify their priorities, evaluate the potential sacrifices involved, and identify strategies to make their chosen activities more effortless. The author also emphasizes the importance of eliminating false choices, which are illusory dilemmas that lead us to believe we have only two options when, in reality, there are more possibilities. McKeown encourages readers to challenge the assumptions underlying these false choices and explore alternative paths that align with their essential goals. Furthermore, McKeown addresses the fear of making the wrong choices and offers a helpful perspective. He argues that it is not about making the right choice every time but rather making choices that align with our essential intent and learning from the outcomes. The focus is on making deliberate choices and being willing to course-correct if necessary. The chapter concludes by emphasizing that essentialism is a continuous process of making intentional choices. It requires ongoing evaluation, learning, and adjustment. McKeown suggests practicing the skill of choice by engaging in small, daily exercises that allow us to exercise our decision-making muscles and build our essentialist mindset over time. In summary, the chapter, Choose, the Invincible Power of Choice, in Essentialism, emphasizes the significance of choice in embracing essentialism. It encourages readers to consciously opt out of non-essential activities and make decisions that align with their values, goals, and priorities. By creating a framework for decision-making, challenging false choices, and embracing a learning mindset, individuals can harness the invincible power of choice to live more intentionally and pursue what truly matters. 20 great points were the examples from Choose, the Invincible Power of Choice. Certainly. Here are 20 key points from the chapter, Choose, the Invincible Power of Choice, in Essentialism, The Disciplined Pursuit of Less, by Greg McKeown, along with examples. 1. Recognize the power of choice. Understand that you have the freedom to choose how you spend your time, energy, and resources. For example, choosing to prioritize self-care and relaxation over constantly working late hours. 2. Opting out. Consciously choose to opt out of activities, commitments, and projects that do not align with your values, goals, or priorities. For instance, declining invitations to social events that you have no genuine interest in attending. 3. Essential Intent Framework. Utilize the Essential Intent Framework to guide your decision-making. Ask yourself questions like, what do I want to go big on? What trade-offs am I willing to make? And, how can I make execution effortless? This framework helps clarify priorities and make intentional choices. 4. Prioritization. Choose activities and projects that have the highest impact and meaning in relation to your goals. For example, dedicating time to work on a project that aligns with your long-term vision rather than getting caught up in low-value tasks. 5. Sacrifices and trade-offs. Understand that every choice involves trade-offs, and be willing to make sacrifices for what truly matters. For instance, choosing to forego socializing on weekends to focus on personal growth or pursuing a passion project. 6. False choices. Recognize false choices, which are illusory dilemmas that limit our options. Challenge assumptions and explore alternative paths that align with your essential goals. For example, reframing a decision is not between work or family, but finding ways to integrate both effectively. 7. Fear of making the wrong choice. Accept that making perfect choices every time is unrealistic. Focus on making choices that align with your essential intent and learn from the outcomes. For instance, trying out a new business venture and viewing it as a learning opportunity, regardless of the outcome. 8. Deliberate decision making. Make choices consciously and deliberately rather than reacting impulsively or out of obligation. For example, taking time to reflect and evaluate the pros and cons before accepting a new commitment. 9. Course correction. Be open to course correcting if a chosen path is not aligned with your goals or values. It's better to adjust your course rather than persisting in non-essential activities. For instance, recognizing that a job or career path is not fulfilling and taking steps to transition into a more meaningful role. 10. Essentialist mindset. Embrace an essentialist mindset by consistently making intentional choices. Understand that essentialism is an ongoing process that requires continuous evaluation and adjustment. 11. Daily exercises. Engage in small, daily exercises that allow you to practice decision making and reinforce your essentialist mindset. For example, setting aside a few minutes each day to prioritize tasks and determine the most essential ones. 12. Value-based choices. Make choices based on your values and principles, ensuring they align with your long-term vision. For instance, choosing to support causes or organizations that reflect your core values. 13. Saying no. Learn to say no graciously to non-essential requests or opportunities that do not align with your priorities. For example, declining to take on additional work assignments when your schedule is already full. 14. Setting boundaries. Establish boundaries to protect your time, energy, and well-being. This involves consciously deciding what you will and won't engage in. For instance, setting specific working hours and communicating them to colleagues to avoid unnecessary interruptions. 15. Evaluating potential outcomes. Consider the potential outcomes of different choices and evaluate how they align with your essential goals. For example, weighing the potential impact and personal fulfillment of starting a new project against the time and resources required. 16. Decision-making criteria. Develop criteria or guiding principles to evaluate choices consistently. These criteria can be based on your core values, personal mission, or long-term aspirations. For instance, using a set of questions to assess whether an opportunity is in line with your essential intent. 17. Discarding non-essential activities. Be willing to let go of non-essential activities that no longer serve your goals or values. For example, quitting a hobby or extracurricular activity that has become a burden or distraction. 18. Balancing short-term and long-term goals. Consider the impact of choices on both short-term gratification and long-term fulfillment. Strive for a balance that aligns with your overall vision. For instance, choosing to allocate time for immediate rest and rejuvenation to maintain productivity in the long run. 19. Learning from choices. View every choice as an opportunity to learn and grow. Reflect on the outcomes, both positive and negative, and use them to inform future decisions. For example, analyzing the results of a failed project to identify areas for improvement and apply those lessons to future endeavors. 20. The ongoing process of essentialism. Understand that embracing essentialism is not a one-time decision but an ongoing journey of intentional choices and continuous refinement. Continually evaluate and adjust your approach to align with what truly matters to you. These points highlight the importance of choice and decision making in adopting an essentialist mindset. They provide practical strategies for making intentional choices that align with your values, goals, and priorities, ultimately leading to a more meaningful and fulfilling life.